Alright, buckle up, because this next one is why my family ditched a house that had been ours for 3 generations. Seriously. My whole life, I've battled depression. That feeling of being useless, it's a constant fight. I'm doing way better now, but as a kid, it was pure hell. So I spent a lot of time holed up in my room. Our house was deep in the woods, trees on 3 sides, a whole forest separating us from the neighbors. My room was huge, corner spot, windows on 2 walls staring straight into that dark, creepy woods. For a scared of the dark kid, it was a nightmare. Things started getting weird when I was about 10, 5th grade. That awkward age where you're too old to run to your parents after a nightmare, but still get accused of having an active imagination. First, my nightlight. It had different color settings, and I always left it on red, my comfort color. One night I woke up randomly, which was super rare. I was half asleep, but I noticed the light was not red. Didn't think much of it, drifted back off. A week later, same thing. Woke up, nightlight's a different color. I asked my parents, thinking they were messing with me. They looked at me like I had 3 heads. "What are you talking about?" they said. I explained and they just shrugged it off. "Oh, that thing's always been glitchy." I bought it for a bit. Then one morning I woke up and the nightlight was unplugged, just sitting on the floor. Again, my parents dismissed it. "Focus on school," my dad said. "You're getting too old for a nightlight anyway." A few days later, the nightlight was gone, vanished, poof. I knew they were lying. They probably thought they were doing me a favor, forcing me to grow up. This caused a massive fight. We both accused each other of hiding it, neither of us backing down. I couldn't believe they'd lie about something so small. Things went back to normal for a week, but it didn't last. 3 nights in a row, I woke up in the middle of the night, no idea why. The 4th time, I told my parents. "Puberty," they said. "Body changes." The next time it happened, I stayed awake. And a few minutes later, I heard it. Faint rustling from my closet. My parents didn't believe me. My dad even checked, said there was nothing but old toys and posters. The next 4 days, the most traumatizing nights of my life. Waking up hearing that rustling. It was torture. I begged them to believe me. My dad got angry. He dragged me to the closet, determined to prove me wrong. He started throwing toys, clearing out the closet, yelling at me the whole time, until he pulled a poster off the wall. My mum and dad froze, staring at a massive hole in the wall. The posters had hidden it. My mum screamed. My dad grabbed a flashlight. The hole was too deep to see where it led. He ran outside, inspecting the house. There was a tiny hole in the dirt at the base of the house. A little digging, and it was clear. Not a divot, a literal passageway from the woods to my room. My mum and I were out of that house that night, straight to my aunt's. We moved out shortly after. I stayed at my aunt's until we did. I hate thinking about it, but I know I have to face it eventually. My parents, they refuse to talk about it. I think they blame themselves for not taking me seriously. It's chilling to think someone was in my room every night for over a month. I have no idea what they wanted, and I'll probably never know. If your kids tell you something weird, something abnormal, believe them.
All right, last one. My name's Leo, and honestly, I'm a bit lost right now. Family situation? Horrible. Been trying to stay as far away from home as possible for the last 3 years. My high school friends? changing in ways I don't like. My hometown? Nothing left for me there. I'm about to be a senior in college, and I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing with my life. But enough with the pity party. Last year, I was in Berlin, probably searching for some meaning, some direction. I remember the bar, Ruya. I was there alone, nothing new for me. Getting ready to leave, I patted my pocket. Keys? Gone. My apartment keys. Just my luck. I stumbled out, started walking towards my apartment anyway. Locked up tight. No way in. And it was way too late to get a replacement. Most people would probably freak out, but my first thought was, find a place to crash. And just when I thought my luck couldn't get any worse, it started raining. Eventually, I found a bridge. Didn't even know where I was, but I was out of the rain, safe, happy. As I was drifting off, I started hearing faint voices across the river. I sat up, 5 guys on the opposite bank, and a little boat tied off. They didn't see me. It took me less than a minute to realize what I was witnessing. An honest-to-God drug deal, right in front of me. My German isn't great, so I couldn't make out what they were saying, but briefcases and duffel bags were changing hands. I filled in the blanks. My first instinct was to find a new spot, but I didn't want to draw attention to myself, so I figured I'd just wait it out. Then, out of nowhere, one of the guys yells something aggressive in German, points a gun at another guy. Brief silence. Then the guy with the gun up puts his hands up, starts talking super fast. He was getting set up. The others stripped him, confiscated his stuff. I was out. I didn't feel safe anymore. I booked it, didn't look back. That night in Berlin? Yeah, that's a story I'll never forget. And it definitely didn't help me find myself, but it sure as hell gave me a story to tell.
Okay, so this next one happened when I was a little kid, maybe 6 or 7, back in our old house in Suffolk County, Long Island. My older brother and I shared a bedroom upstairs. Our room was a toy explosion. We had a million toys, plus 2 parallel crawl-in closets packed with even more. But there was one toy. A race car. Buttons, lights, honking, revving, driving sounds, and this cheesy little rock song. It was ancient, a hand-me-down from my brother. One random night, my brother and I are in bed, not quite asleep. Suddenly, like a jump scare from a horror movie, that car toy roars to life. Lights flashing, revving sound blasting right in the middle of the room. I freaked, instantly accused my brother, Luke, of trying to scare me. He's just laughing hysterically, swearing he didn't do it. I was terrified. The toy eventually stopped, went silent. I was super unsettled, as any little kid would be, but, you know, time marches on and I eventually fell asleep. It wasn't long until something else happened. Luke and I are in bed again. We both hear this weird thud in the room. Luke, being Luke, starts trying to creep me out, whispering about ghosts. I'm yelling at him to shut up, threatening to get Mom. He's still laughing until we both see it. A light. In the corner of the room. It was the toy car. Again. I bolted out of bed, straight down the stairs, screaming for my mom. I burst into my parents' room, probably giving them some dramatic 7-year-old spiel about a ghost, a thud, and the car lights. Luke walks in, and my mom, bless her heart, just tells him to knock it off. But then he says, "How could I turn the lights on from my bed?" That night, I slept in my parents' room, too scared to go back upstairs. After that, nothing for a long time. Until one night, Luke wasn't there. Sleepover, probably. I was alone in the room. I'd long since banished that car to the small bedroom across the hall because it freaked me out. My mom kissed me goodnight and I begged her to leave the door open. Always scared when I was alone. I rolled over, tried to sleep, but I was wide awake. Then a sound from down the hall. I can't even describe it. I flipped over to face the door, and there it was, the toy car, rolling into the room, lights on. I let out a scream that came from the deepest part of my gut, crying for my mom, pressing myself against the wall. Moments later, my parents are both rushing up the stairs into the room. They see the car on the floor. I'm screaming that someone pushed it in. My dad checks the other rooms, but no one's there. No hiding spots, just closets and under beds, and he checked them all. I don't know what they thought. Maybe the toy was malfunctioning, maybe it was my imagination. But I think they were also a little freaked out. That toy car didn't have a feature to move on its own. My dad smashed the toy, threw it in the neighbor's trash to make me feel better. I slept in their room for a while after that, until my dad eventually forced me back upstairs. This story? This is why I believe in the paranormal and something after death.